You should be able to hear me now, guys. Can you hear me now? Okay. Mike Zagari, Russ, Paul. All right. I'm trying something a little bit different tonight. I did promise to do some linear concepts, but I'm experimenting. I'm really trying to figure out the system, and I think I'm pretty close. Mr. Ross is going to help me, I believe. Right, Ross? Well, that's because I didn't send it. That's why, Paul. But you will get it. And there's another PDF that I'll be working with tonight. And the lesson tonight is triplet fills. And I'm not certain if Russ was here when we did this. And I'm not certain if you were here as well, Paul. I know Mike Zagari wasn't. So what I did, if you can see the sheet, the first line is quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to get a bigger picture on here and I can't. But I don't know. All right. The first line is just quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be thinking right now when I'm counting, instead of me counting quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to count triplets, eighth note triplets. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Now, the title of it is triplet fill-ins, or fills, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to make the balance of the measure, or what I just played, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to fill in the triplet, the eighth note triplet, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So now I'm going to play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We understand that. You look at line 2, okay, and it's on the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now that's considered straight up and down. If I swing that, the and becomes the da of the triplet. So I'm going to play line 2 rather, swung. So here we go. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Do we understand that? The difference between straight up and down, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and, as 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Now I'm going to fill in the balance of the triplet. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Okay, 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1. So on and so forth. Now, I like to go, and they said this is actually me eliminating all the lefts from stick control on line 1 and line 2. So what I like to do is go into line 1 and line 2. 2 measures of line 1, 2 measures of line 2. Example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So on and so forth. A little quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back and forth. We all understand that. So it's the accent. Well, I'm playing what's there, written, as a free stroke. That's going to give me an accent. And that's one way to interpret that. Okay, but Michael, do you understand the difference between straight up and down and swung? Michael? Zagari. Do you understand the difference between straight up and down and swung? Yes or no? Make life easier. If you don't, all right, so what I'm doing is I'm swinging the line. Line 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm filling in the balance of the triplet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and You understand that, Michael? So I have line 1 and line 2. Two measures. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and All right, we got that. Now, there's how many people? 4 people in here? There's Russ, Paul, and Mike, and somebody else. Okay. Do we all have the syncopation book? Make life a little easier. We have this book, gentlemen? Hello? And there's all kinds of delays on this. Mercy, Lord be. Do we have this book? Mike has it. Ross rather, and Paul? Okay, Ross, do you have it? Okay, we're going to turn. You're going to need to buy some books, gentlemen. All right, let's go to lesson 12, page 30. Okay? Lesson 12, page 30. This makes my life a lot easier. If you have that, I'm going to take this sheet off of here and see if I get a wider screen on this. Hold on a minute, gentlemen. Right now, that's the widest I can get. I have to make some adjustments. I try all day long to get this better and better and better. Okay, so we're on page 30, lesson 12. We all there? Yes? No? Paul's there, I think. Yeah, Paul's there. Russ, you there? Mike, you there? Michael's there. Okay. And Ross. Now, there's quite a few guys missing tonight. There's a student, his name is Dan Tanner, and I believe, I'm not certain, I'm just going to assume, I think his mother was just on her deathbed here. I'm not sure if she made it or not, so he hasn't been around for a while. Okay. Sorry to say that, but that's what it is. All right, lesson 12, page 30. Look at the first line. There's 4 measures, they're all the same. Now I'm going to demonstrate the difference between straight up and down and swung. Straight up and down, the first measure, line 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if I swing that, I immediately go to triplets. As 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, and the. Now the and becomes the duh of the triplet. And obviously the downbeat is the quarter note. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're counting triplets, 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. We're going to put the balance of the triplet with the left hand, and we're going to play the line with the right hand. So actually, these are quarter strokes, but you can call them ghost notes if you prefer. I don't like that term ghost notes, it's a little scary. 1 and the 2, 3, 4. 1 and the 2 and 3 and the 4 and 1 and the 2 and 3 and the 4 and a little up the tempo a little bit. Let's get a, I don't know, some sort of tempo going on with the metronome. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'll play line 1. Now right now I'm thinking triplets and I'm thinking mechanically and mathematically. But you could take that part, the what's written there, as a trumpet part. Ba-dop, bop, bop, boom, beep, bop, ba-dop, bop, bop, or any other musical part. Okay, the band's playing. Bop, 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 and you fill it in with the triplet. 1, 2, 3, zap. We all understand that, gentlemen. Got it? Any questions? I did promise I was going to do a linear concepts this week, and I've been fooling around with this whole system here, and I'm trying to put it together. Now you understand it, Paul. I do promise you Tuesday and Wednesday's lesson will be drum set application for all of this stuff, okay? Mike, of course you can. We're going to take a drum pad. This is, I'm demonstrating, I'm instructing, I'm giving a lesson of what is occurring mechanically. Of course you can do it on a drum set. My goodness, Mike. Oh, wait till I see you again. Mr. Mike, what's wrong with you? Of course you play it on the drum set. And we do a substitution as well. We play all what's written with the bass drum, fill in on the snare drum with the left hand, and play it against the jazz time. That takes a long time. Okay. In study, what is that? In stick control, it's the same thing. I keep professing, look. Syncopation book is the stick control book, minus the sticking. Now let me show you what I mean. Okay, if I'm thinking, for example, line 1, and I'm playing what's written, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? Now, if I play just that line, that first measure with the right, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and fill in the blanks with the right, the left hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and same thing. Mike, are you watching this on a computer or are you watching this on your phone? Hey, boonga. All right, we'll get it. That'll be another lesson. That's going to distract me from the whole lesson. The triplet fills. Okay? Line 1, again, triplet fills. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm taking the line with the right hand, but you could reverse that, okay, and make the line the left hand. like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Fill it in with the triplet. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So disperse or distribute the work on the right and on the left. I'm demonstrating it to the right side as I'm assigning the line to my right hand. Okay, and I'm filling in the blanks, the triplets, to make it a straight line. I'm just playing on one surface, so you could say this is a linear concept. So on and so forth. Okay? All right, let's go to line 2. Line 2, lesson 12. All right, I'm going to play the line, I'm going to play the whole line straight up and down, and I'm going to count straight up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I'm going to swing the line. So I'm going right to the triplet mode. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. All right, then I fill in the blanks. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, do we see that? Does everybody in here have the stick control book as well? We got Mike, Ross, Paul, and who else is in here? There's a few other people in here. Hey guys, get in the chat, please. All right, we have the stick control book. Okay. Let's do this with the stick control book, just to give you another perspective or another way. 1 second. Okay. In the beginning of the lesson, I put the sheet up there for quarter notes and I actually did quarter notes and then the upbeats. That's actually line 1 and line 2, the stick control book. So I took line 1 on the stick control book. So we're going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we eliminate the lefts, and that just gives me the rights on 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now I'm going to swing it. If I swing, it's still a downbeat. But I'm going to add, or I'm going to fill in the triplets. Okay? To make it a straight line of rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little up tempo. 1, 2, 3. Line 2, straight up and down is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I swing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. I eliminate the lefts and I play the rights on the upbeat, which is the da in this case of the triplet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Fill in the blank. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so we kind of did that in the beginning with the quarter note and then the up, just on the upbeat. Now let's go to line 3. Line 3 it's the right, right, left, left sequence. If I play it straight up and down, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's straight up and down. Now I'm going to swing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm going to eliminate the lefts. So that's going to give me, I'm still thinking it's as swung. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now I'm going to fill in the blanks. A straight line of triplets, a linear line of triplets. Okay? But my accent, I'm going to accent the rights, so I'm going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little quicker. But now, notice how I'm consistent with the accent. The accent is remaining the same. And if you want to call them the ghost notes, I call them the quarter strokes, or for the classically trained pianissimo notes. Okay? Whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you, whatever terminology you want to use. Okay, so I'm playing line 3. Now I go to line 4, it reverses itself. Okay, so if I play line 4 straight up and down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I eliminate the lefts and I have on line 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so now I'm going to swing it. So I go to the triplet mode again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're all with me? We all have it? Any questions? Any problems? Mike, you got it. Okay. Paul's got it. And I'm sure Ross has it. Okay, so now, let's go to line 5. All right. Line 5, it's the paradiddle sticking. I refer to that as an alternating paradiddle, and I get all kinds of grief from everybody. But hey, that's how I refer to it. If they're bothered by that, I'm sorry. So we go to line 5. Somebody else just left the room. I guess I'm boring. Hold on. Oh, mercy, Lord thee. Okay. Line 5. 1, straight up and down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. So now we eliminate, we're going to swing the line and we go to the triplet mode. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we eliminate the lefts and we get this 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, so now we're going to fill it in with the triplet. We're going to make it a straight line of triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and This is the first step to actually an endless journey. It's a matter of interpretation. This is not, please, it's not the way George Lawrence Stone intended the book to be played. He put it out there to develop the right and to develop the left hand equally. Okay, and from whatever position you attack from, the right hand and the left hand is strong. They're both of them are equal in strength. What I'm doing is I'm taking ways that I've come to because I really respect and I kind of admire George Lawrence Stone's brilliance, and I'm expanding on it. Now, there's a tremendous amount of ways to do stick control book other than the way George Lawrence Stone intended it. Now, I'm not the only one who journeys off into this. Other drummers out there, and they have other ways. I literally have, I would say, at least 1,000 different ways to do this. And this is one of a few. Now, I'm showing you this interpretation. We're labeling the lesson as triplet fill-ins on one surface. Then we could do, there's the second stage, is what we're going to do with this. We're going to substitute. Instead of using the right hand, we're going to take the bass drum in its place. We establish that feel, and that's a drum set application, which I will do tomorrow evening. And we establish all the rights as this interpretation with the bass drum, all the lefts still on the snare drum, against the jazz straight ahead time. A ding, boom, ding, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. That, my friends, is a journey. It's something that you don't sit down and practice for an hour, something over a long period of time. Now, I have relationships with a lot of drummers. You don't want to take lessons, it relieves my mind. Well, hey, go see a doctor, get a nerve pill. This is not going to relieve your mind. As a matter of fact, it'll make you little Looney Tunes. A lot of hard work. One thing that I could say it really does, for example, if you guys have day gigs, which I've had a few, and it's stressful at times, and you have responsibilities, so you have to go to work. Sometimes you just don't want to do that. You want to stay home and play your drums, or practice your drums, or play in a band, or sleep an extra half hour. But as responsible young men, and you have responsibilities, you take care of them, and then your drumming comes. Now, that's kind of stressful, like I said. But if you put your mind into doing stuff like this, that stress is gone, man. It's gone. Because you're focused. You're thinking about what you're doing. You're working hard. You sit down and you really get into it. A half hour, an hour and a half pass you by. You won't even know it. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. Especially when we do the substitution. And we do all the rights with the bass drum and remain on the snare against the straight ahead jazz time. I play the straight ahead jazz time for instructional purposes. However, that's not the only thing I play. I play an open time. Do we all know the difference between a straight ahead time and an open time? Straight ahead. Ding, boom, ding, bong. I need some response on that. 1, 2, 3, straight ahead. 1, 2. We know the difference? Could I review it? Did I ever show that to you, Michael? So if I never showed it to you, I can't review it. All right, straight ahead time. It's best to demonstrate this. I'll just give you a little taste. Okay. Straight ahead time is, you're hearing chang, gong, ding, chang, ding, chong. Like the Jimmy Chapin book. God bless Jimmy Chapin for all the graphics he contributed and all his hard work and love and passion for the drums. God bless him. Okay, and he played a straight ahead time with the graphics. When I mean straight ahead time, it's constant. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Straight ahead. Ding, dong, mi, fo, one. Okay. Now, usually, if you're playing with a vocalist, for example, or a big band, and you're reading a chart, and the producer says, okay, straight ahead time, that's it. That's what he's paying you to do. So you can't really stretch out. Now, a broken time, if you have a straight line, let's go to a straight line of quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to think quarter notes, but I'm going to play a broken line of quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I had 2 measures of quarter notes there. But I played them broken. It wasn't a straight line. If I'm playing a jazz time, that's straight ahead. Now if I'm going to play, for example, let's take a tune. I'll hum a little bit of it. It's very difficult to give a demonstration of this particular concept on one surface. I need to go onto the drum set, which I will do tomorrow. The tune Milestones. Are we familiar with that one? Bump, 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 bing. Okay. Now, there's the concept of playing the jazz, you know, the A, B, A sections and whatever, and you kind of like don't go anywhere but keep the time. But once there's the release, which is, when I say release, it means like after you play the head twice, you're going to improvise with the other musicians. So, how do I improvise? Do I be a drag and just don't give anybody a chance to play out there, or I don't have a conversation with someone else in the band musically? So I'm going bump, 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 bump. See, it's hard to demonstrate it, but you'll see it tomorrow night when I go onto the drum set. But that's what an open time is. Ding, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not straight ahead. The difference between straight ahead and open. Up, 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 up. The time is there, but I'm playing what I hear and what I feel against the melody. And we'll demonstrate that tomorrow evening. Do we understand that? The difference, straight ahead and open? It's a difficult concept to teach. You have to experience it more or less. Anybody here playing a jazz band? Piano, bass, and drums, or a quartet? Yes? No? Mike? Paul, you do? Paul, you playing it in a trio or a quartet, jazz? Yeah, we all are. I mean, you know, here's what I would recommend, Paul. Mike, you can't wish for something. You have to work for something. And Ross, you have. Okay. All right, well, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you're a musician. You should be able to play in any kind of situation. Am I freezing on you guys? No. Okay. There's just such a big delay. All right, well, you get all the experience. If you want to learn how to play jazz, you know, it's like, you know, all these guys, they get a degree in whatever. Let's say music. The guy studies for 4 years and he gets a bachelor's degree in music. Then he goes 2 more years and gets a master's degree. And that's exactly what you need to do, Mike. A jam band. You don't want to call it. You want to jam with people who play jazz tunes. And it's something everybody should go through. It's part of the whole process. That's how you learn, is your interaction with other musicians. Many, many times, man, and still to this day, you know, I'll go on an open jam, they call it, where they have jazz. Some great musicians, some not so great musicians. But the whole process is learning. So you get up on stage, you never interacted with these other musicians before. That's where the concept comes in, because everyone should be thinking the same melodically. And that's part of the journey. So let's say the sax player is given the jam, so he invites you up to play with whomever else is playing. He calls a tune. So either you know it or you don't. And I would say out of 100% of the time that they call a tune, or called a tune when I first started, 50% of the time I didn't know it. I didn't know the tune. Or I knew the tune, but I never played it. So I said, uh-oh, here comes the journey. Well, there's no such thing as getting your ass kicked. That's where you get humbled. So let's make that straight. There's nobody kicks nobody's ass. You get humbled, Mike. Okay? And first off, now you're taking, you're not playing as an artist, you're going to be playing now as a timekeeper. And I hate to be labeled that way, because I feel that I should not have to play time for anybody that I perform with on stage. They should be able to play their own time or keep their own time. That's where the groove starts to evolve. Now, there's the concept which we haven't gotten into, like the AABA thing. That's difficult if you've never experienced it. So for example, let me just give you some of my somewhat journeys or whatever, and Mike's ass kicking or whatever, but being humbled. And I'm still humble. You got to remain humble so you continually grow. So I get up on stage and somebody calls Blue Monk or A Moment's Notice, and you go, oh boy. So now you're in the mode. Now you don't know the tune. Well, I'll tell you what. You need to keep time so you're in the tune, and that's the journey. As you're in the tune, you'll learn the tune. So let's say you get up there and you do A Moment's Notice. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-da. That one, whatever that one is. And that's a weird tune. And you take, not a beating, but you get really humbled. What you have to do, and I've done this, and I know other people have, once they get humbled like that, they go home and they take that tune and listen to it, and listen to it, and hum it, and work the tune. Next time they have a jam, you go up and you request you want to play the tune that you got humbled to. That's what the musicians respect. You get up there, and there's usually the same people coming to the jam session, and they're going to see you go up there, play the same tune that you got humbled with, and see how you took the tune now next time, and you grew. And if you're growing and you did good and you're on the right track, you'll get compliments saying, yeah, and you start talking concept to other musicians. That's the way you learn. You can't put an ad in the paper and say, wanted jazz guitarist or jazz saxophone player or whatever. You got to go out and get them. You got to go out and sit in with them. Get your name out there. Not like the mafia. Where are you coming from? I tell you, better not come here, Mike. The mafia. What are you talking about? Would somebody pop him in the head with a drumstick, please? I tell you, Mike's a good kid. He really wants to learn. And Mike, believe it or not, is a school teacher. Mike, you have your master's degree. Okay. Anyway, it don't matter. That's what you have to do. You have to go out and jam. Listen to all the jazz you can possibly listen to. And when you get up on stage, you play a tune. If you're seasoned, there is no right and there is no wrong. Okay? As long as you maintain the rules. And I learned that from Wynton Marsalis, accidentally. And from that point on, I went to find out what the rules are, and that's how I developed a concept. And it was accidentally. When I say accidentally, I don't usually watch a whole lot of TV. But with a few kids, you know, you don't have a choice. You know, you need a breakthrough. You want to take a nap on the couch, especially at my age. So, and this is going way back before I had kids anyway. And I went through the channels, and I got to 13, channel 13, the BB, whatever, PSG, whatever that channel is. It's the educational, it's a free channel. And Wynton Marsalis was talking, so I stopped it. And I said, all right, let me listen to what he has to say. And he gave a definition of jazz, which I totally agree with. And the one thing he said is, as long as you follow the rules, you're allowed, and you follow the rules, you can do anything you want. So you have to understand what the rules are. PBS, that's right, Mike. You have to understand what the rules are and maintain them, and then you're on the way. Do you know anything about rules there, Paul? That comes into concept. Paul, do we know anything about that? All right, we'll talk about concepts. We'll take a 12-bar blues one day. Yes? Okay. You know the rules. All right. Very good. 8-bar increments times 4 is 32 measures, which is standard. Then you have the 12-bar blues. 3 measures of 4. I call it the blues. You need to hum the melody constantly. Think about it. You listen to a jazz tune, and especially Miles Davis, he'd be playing Autumn Leaves, and you wouldn't even know what he was playing, unless it started out and you read the label. But if you hum the tune constantly in the beginning and know where you're at, all the musicians that you're playing with are in the same place. They're not saying the same thing, but they're saying something to the melody. And that's your interaction. And what that does, that's your conversation eventually with the other musicians inside of the tune. It's not an easy place to get to. That is constant listening. You can't be listening to Metallica, as opposed to Miles Davis or John Coltrane or Charlie Parker. Quite a night and day there. One is the money bag and one is the musical bag, the art. And then playing out of the box. We all know what playing out of the box means. Yes, no, maybe. Okay, we got the triple fills. You know what out of the box is? Mike, you're out of the box. You better get in the box so you can get out of it. Console? What? What is that? All right. Okay, you guys good enough for tonight so we can have some dinner? Well, I'll tell you, we all know who Mike Clark is. I don't want to do too much talking here. I had enough, I'm tired. You guys have any question? Don't call me your brother. See, Mike, Gary and I go back about 20 years. Paul, we'll talk about, we're going to do a drum set application to this. Ross, you're going to give me a call in about 5 minutes? I hope. Can you do that? I'm sorry I missed your call. I had to step out. Okay. Okay, gentlemen, we're good to go? Let's see, let me get out of here.